Hello viewers, this is Ahmed Junaid Salik, licensed Canadian immigration and appeal consultant from Toronto, Canada. Today I'm going to talk about a very common misconception about the Canadian visa, entry into Canada, stay in Canada, and extension of stay in Canada. First thing is Canadian visa, a visitor visa. A visitor visa is for the purpose of entry into Canada. You can enter Canada, you can fly from your home country to Canada for onboarding purpose. You will require your visa at the Canadian airport. Again, they will see your visa and they will allow you to enter Canada. If they don't put any date on your passport, it means by default you can stay in Canada for 6 months. 6 months is the period of a regular stay in Canada until unless the CBSA officer at the Canadian Port of Entry or airport they put a date or limit your stay in Canada. If they limit your stay in Canada for 2 months, 1 month, 2 weeks, anything, even in that case, you can file an extension of stay in Canada. You can, if there are reasons for your stay in Canada, we can help you file an extension of stay in Canada, and that stay will grant you 6 months living or stay in Canada as a visitor. Once the 6 month period is over, you can again file an extension of stay in Canada if the purpose of your stay is still exists. For example, this is most common with the cases of parents of Canadians who are here on a visitor visa. This is a very common misconception that after 6 months parents will have to or will be required to leave Canada. No, they don't need to leave Canada. If they are your parents, they are not on a super visa, then in that case even they can apply for an extension. And in most of the cases, parents of Canadian permanent residents and citizens, they they receive a 1 year stay in Canada, which is called as visitor record. Visitor record is an authorization to stay in Canada. For parents of Canadians, it is normally for up to 1 month, up to 1 year, sorry, up to 1 year. Normally it is 6 months, but it is up to the discretion of the immigration officer to issue a 1 year visitor record for parents of Canadians. For other people, it is up to 6 months. They allow you 6 months. Even in cases of students, we have received a visitor record of 1 year when they were switching between the study permit and visitor record and then to study permit. So they received a 1 year visitor record by some of our clients. So if you are in such a situation, don't confuse it. And another important thing, your visa validity is not a condition of your stay in Canada. For example, if you are entering Canada on June 1 and your visa is expiring on June 30th of the same month, it doesn't mean that you cannot stay in Canada beyond June 30. No. June 30 is the time or authorization to stay in Canada, to enter in Canada, sorry. To June 30th is a time till when you can enter Canada. You can enter Canada on June 29 even. Even 1 day is left, you can enter Canada. And then 6 months next, you can stay in Canada. Although your visa is expired, but your authorization to stay in Canada is not there expired until it is curtailed by the CBSA officer at the port of entry. Normally you can stay in 6 months then. So for next 6 months, if you arrive on June 29 and your visa is expiring on June 30th, you can stay in Canada till December 28. 6 months. Next 6 months you can stay in Canada. You cannot extend your visitor record in visa in Canada. You can extend the visitor record in Canada, but you cannot extend the visa in Canada if you are a visitor. If you are a student or a worker and you get a new study permit or a work permit, in that case, yes, you can get a new visa inside Canada. But visitor visa holders, they cannot obtain a new visa from inside Canada. For that purpose, they have to go back to their home country, and then from outside Canada, they can apply their home country or where a country of their residence even. Because Canadian laws are flexible, you can apply for a Canadian visitor visa from outside Canada, from anywhere where you habitually reside, if but not temporarily residing. Like if you are on traveling in the US and you want to apply a visitor visa from the US, it would be very hard to obtain a Canadian visitor visa while traveling in the US. It is not something impossible. It can be possible, but it would be very tough. If you belong to a country, say Pakistan, and you are working in Middle East or Gulf, where you have your Iqama, your work permit, so in that case, you can apply for a visitor visa from that country of residence. You're from the Middle East country where you work, so you can apply for your visitor visa from that country. So this was all about the today's topic, which is a very misconception. There's a lot of misconception about this topic among the people, and they often ask us about this confusion. So I think now you are better cleared. Even if you have any such situation and you're not sure, please feel free to contact us. Thank you.